Emma Coburn was in the. She just needed what, a 70-second last lap to break 9 minutes
Oh my God.
in the steeple, and then she hit that final water barrier, which she normally never does. She's normally pretty good on hitting that final water barrier clean.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Evan Jager back in 2015 in Paris, where he was on pace to break 8 minutes in the steeple and hit the final barrier and wasn't able to break that 8-minute barrier. I kind of felt the same way here. Steeple, man, you need everything to go right. You need that perfect pacing.
Yeah.
You need to feel right in order to get a good PB. But Coburn looked good. It makes me think Coburn, while she didn't get what she wanted here, I think Coburn could win the Olympics.
Oh, absolutely. I think she should take away more positives than negatives here. I mean, that you compared it to the Evan Jager Paris thing. I mean, that was just a straight up like clipping of the, this was a water barrier. So it's obviously a little different. She was right there neck and neck with Kiyang. And I think maybe just tried to get a little, when you're racing over the final water barrier, it's easy to get greedy because I'm just pulling this out of thin air, but I feel like 90% of the time, whoever's ahead, over the last water barrier is going to win the race. And so they felt like they both knew that. And Coburn tried to get a little edge and may have just jumped, I don't know, a little early, or maybe it was just a freak thing and her foot just didn't plant well. But yeah, you feel for her. I mean, she still ran 9:09 and, she would have set a personal best if that wouldn't have happened, I think. So I truly think she would have won this race because Kiyang didn't close that well. It really wasn't a good last lap from anybody. She didn't close that well. I think Coburn, who's normally rock solid over the barriers. This was just a rare, like one of those like crazy occurrences, freak things that usually would never happen. Previously, I can't remember her falling on a barrier. So I think you have to take a lot of confidence. Obviously, you'd take more from a win and an American record. She didn't get either of those today, but she was up there the whole time and didn't have to, it wasn't a situation where she was like, oh, I have to rally and wait for these women to fall off a fast pace. No, she was up there. I mean, I think she hit 2,000 meters in 6 minutes. So on 9-minute pace, ready to possibly break 9 and get her American record back. But I don't know, just that last little barrier caught her. But yeah, should definitely take more positives than negatives from this race today.
Yeah, I agree with the positives over negatives. The one negative that can come from this race is a mental negative where, let's flash forward a month from now. You're in the Olympic final. You're in the same type of position that you were in this race. Maybe there's 2 others around you. So you're kind of broken away. You're in that top 3. You're going to get a medal. And you're going up to the final water barrier again. And you're like 10, 20 meters away from that final water barrier. What is going through your head in those 3 to 4 seconds before you hit that water barrier? Like, are you replaying this moment from a month prior? Are you able to do you overcompensate because of it? Do you slow up a bit? Do you try to over engineer it? Like, do you think that could affect her where she'll kind of have PTSD when she hits that final water barrier?
Get the steeple yips. I don't.
Yeah.
I think she's world champion, and I think she'll take more positives from this, knowing she was right there and it was just a freak thing. I mean, she's solid technician as far as getting over the barriers and usually has no problems. It just so happens in domestic races she's always leading at this point. She had to do a little bit of the chasing here. Not that she's foreign to that. She's won a couple medals and or has won 3 medals, excuse me, and been a world champion. So no, she's not going to get psyched out from this. There's no way. And you almost, I mean, if you wanted to have rose-colored glasses, rose-tinted glasses, you could. I would be willing to hear the argument that she's the Olympic favorite based on experience, not based on PBs, obviously. But when you talk about Kipkoech, the world record holder, being nowhere near that 8:44 shape, she was second today, but that was because Coburn fell. I could hear an argument that Coburn is the favorite. I mean, I think most people would say it's Kiyang, but I think Coburn was going to beat her today if not for that fall. So given her experience and, now she'll have maybe a little chip on her shoulder. I don't think that barrier falling is going to psych her out at all. Yeah, gold is still very much in the realm of possibility and much better shot than she had in 2019. Obviously, when when Chip Koech was on a different level. So Coburn, once again, I got to say, just has to be feeling good about herself, other than just that slight issue.
Yeah, if betting's legal where you're at, you should definitely put some money on Coburn because you'll make a lot
You think?
because she's going to be underrated going into this. They'll like, 909 season best or whatever or season best, 908 season best. And you see, 903 from Kiang. There's no way Coburn's going to be there. It's like, yeah, well, did you watch Monaco? She's about to beat her.
Yeah.
And then just a freak thing
Yeah.
happened. So, yeah, I think Coburn
we'll
is
see.
the favorite. I'm willing to declare
Really?
it now. Official. Coburn favorite.
It's tough. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Chip Koech, maybe she could gain some, enough fitness to where she's back to some, she doesn't have to be in 844 shape to win gold. That is Chip Koech. If she can get in the 850 range fitness, I think she can probably outrun everybody. But I don't think there's enough time between now and the steeple final until then. So I'm still leaning towards Kiang, but yeah, I can understand that. Like I said, I can understand the argument for Coburn.